Alright guys, welcome back. So now that our server is up and running, we can actually start migrating our files from our previous project into this one that is going to be now a full stack one. So the first thing I want to do now is actually install a new package called HBS. HBS is just short for handlebars. This is going to be our HTML template engine that we're going to use with Node.js, and that will allow us to actually display some HTML pages on the browser, because as you guys can see, at the moment we have just been sending some messages to the front end. We don't want that. We actually want to render some pages on the front end. So let's do that. Let's stop our server. Make sure that you stop your server. And I'm sure that some of you guys will have this kind of problem somewhere along the line. So when you open in here your terminal, make sure that you only have one terminal open. If you have many other opens, it can be conflict with the port. Sometimes you forget closing the server, and then the next time that you are trying to start it, you will have an error. So you can always delete your terminals if you have more. Select the one that you want and delete it in here with this bin key that we have. As you can see, now it's gone. I'm going to open the terminal and it's going to be open automatically in this folder that we are working. Okay, let's install this package called HBS. Let's do npm I HBS, that's the name. It's not handlebars by extension. So this is going to be the name of actually using it, but to install you need to do HBS, okay? So this is the one I'm going to be using. Okay, so now that we have this package, we can actually start migrating our pages from our previous project, the front end that we did. So first of all, in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two folders. I'm going to create two folders in here on the root of the project. One is going to be public and the other one is going to be views. All right. So we got public and it's going to be views. So the folder called public, this is what we're going to be using for just setting up our CSS, our JavaScript from the front end, because everything that we did from before is still working perfectly because that's the front end. And we want to keep all the JavaScript files and all the CSS in this folder called public. And we're also going to put our images in there. Now, in here inside of this views folder, this is where we're going to put our HTML. Okay, so before I actually copy those files over, there's going to be a couple of configuration that we need to do in here in our server. So the first thing that I need to do in here is I'm going to, after this app express, so this is where we initialize our express so we can actually create the routes. So basically this is the routes that we created and where our application is running. What I'm going to do in here is I'm going to do const public directory. So I'm just going to give it the name public directory, but you could call it anything that you want. And so I think I have some public. I think it was not well spelled. So public directory is going to be equals to, and now this is going to be for me to actually tell Node.js where is my public directory, because Node.js has no idea. Okay, so what I'm going to do in here is on the top, I'm going to import a module from Node.js called path. And this module, you don't need to install it, comes by default with Node.js. So I'm going to do const path is going to be equals to require path. Okay, so this is the way that Node.js allows you, like I mentioned before, to actually import something that we have installed already. So this module, this package in here, path, we're going to use it in here. We're going to say const public directory is going to be equals to path.join. So you can use this function .join in this module of path. And what we want to put in here now is going to be underscore dir name. So what is this? Look, this is two underscores together. So underscore underscore, and then dir name. So this is going to be a global variable that we have access in Node.js that gives us the current path of the folder where we are working currently. So this is not me that I created, this is available automatically in here on the Node.js environment, and we can use it, like I said, to get this current folder of this file. So what file are we working on? In this one, on the server.js. So this variable, dir name, will give you the path to this folder where you are working. So I want to join this current folder that we are at the moment, so this one in here, and then I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to put dot slash. So this is going to be to concatenate this current folder with what? Dot slash means that continue from where we are right now, and I want to go inside of public. So this is how we can actually say, okay, this is our public directory. I'm just going to do in here two console.logs. I'm going to do a console.log of, first of all, the underscore dir name, so you guys can see what this variable is. And then I'm going to do another console.log of the public directory. So just for us to confirm that these two values are what we expect, okay? So I'm going to start my server. I'm going to do npm start just to see, and look what we have in here. Now, the first one I have this is my drive, courses, JavaScript, shopping cart, backend. This is going to be this folder where I'm going to work on. So this is the dir name. And the second one, the public directory, is the, look, JavaScript shopping cart, and then public is going to give us the path to this folder. Okay, so we need this. I can just like delete now these two console.logs. We need these two just to make sure that we tell Node.js where is it. So we just got the variable for it. Now, the next thing that I need to do after I have this, I need to do app. Remember that this is the variable that will allow us to use Express. I'm going to do app.use. And this time, what I'm going to put in here is express.static. And what I'm going to put inside of this static, in between parentheses, is going to be our public directory. All right. So this public directory, we are basically telling Node.js, look, we found the public directory. This is the first line. The second line, we are telling, look, all the CSS files, all the JavaScript from the front end, whatever we are using, we want you to go and look into that folder for it. Okay, this is going to be where it's going to start. So that's it. That's it. There's only one thing left for this, which is going to be, so I'm just going to put down here app.set. There is only one thing that we need to do, app.set. We need to tell Node.js which is the view engine that is going to use, because we are using at the moment HBS to render the HTML, but there are many other out there HTML engines that Node.js can use. There are other ones, we're going to use one later on as well called Pug. There are other one called EJS. There are multiple ones. So basically what we are doing in here, app.set, is telling, hey Node.js, what's going to be the view engine that I want you to use? The view engine, so this is like something that to tell Node.js, is the HBS. Okay? The view engine that I want you to use is going to be the HPS that we installed from before. And I think that's it. I think that's it. We should be all good now in here, having this set up. We can actually start creating our own views. So inside of views, I'm going to create a new file, and you can call these files whatever you want. I'm going to create one in here for now called, for example, home. And now instead of using .html, because we are using this kind of HTML template engine, the extension of it is going to be HPS. It's the same thing, guys. It's going to be the same thing like an HTML file, but it's going to have an extension of .hps. Okay, so let's do that. Home home.hps. So like I said, guys, this is like a regular HTML file. I'm gonna do in here HTML. I'm gonna type this in here on my Visual Studio Code. Gives me this drop down to create a template. So I'm just gonna create this regular template from an HTML file. Now inside of the body, I'm just gonna put something, for example, like an H1 and saying this is the home page, like this. All right. And I'm gonna put one more thing because I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna put in here maybe an H2 and my name is Telmo. Okay. All right, so now that we got this home page, you can create as many as you want. Let's go to our server.js. Now in here, guys, what we want to do is instead of doing this res.send, because basically it's like we are sending a response to the front end, and instead of sending a message, let's delete this, we're going to do res, which is our response to the front end. And what we're going to do in here is we're going to do res.render. Okay, we have this function in here of render that says, okay, when we go to our /, which basically is the root of our project, we want to render what? I want to render, I'm going to put in here the home, that's it, the home.hps. You don't need to specify the .hps. You just need to put the name of the file that you created in here. Okay, so how does Node.js knows where is it? Because look, we just specified in here from before all of these that we have been creating. Okay, so we specify the public directory and then we specify our view engine. Let me see if I forgot something in here. I don't think that we forgot, but no. One thing that I forgot to mention is that to use handlebars, by default is looking for these views folder. Okay, so you need to create it with this name of views. If you give it some other name, is not going to work. I forgot to mention this, guys. I think there's another way to do that, but you can just like create it with views. It's going to work out of the box without having to do any extra configuration. Okay, so now that we got this res.render. Now, okay, let's try this. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go to my home page. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. We might have to restart this because when we are working with handlebars files, we actually need to restart the server because this is something different. Okay, so let's just go in here, and as you can see, localhost, this is the home. This is the home page. I forgot to put the page, and then my name is Telmo. Perfect. And then we can also pass some variables if we want. All right. So I could just go in here now, and I just pass in here, for example, after the file, I could put a comma and then an object. Okay. And now I could put, for example, name. So this is going to be the name of the variable, is just name. And then I'm going to put in here, for example, John. So basically, when we go to this route, I'm rendering this page of home, and inside of this HTML, I'm going to pass an object with this key of name. Basically, it's going to be our variable, and the value of it is going to be John. It's going to be very useful later on, as you guys will see. So let's go into our home.hps. Now, how can I inject that variable of name? Instead of passing in here Telmo, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to put in here double curly braces. So make sure that you open and close it without any spaces in between. And then we're going to put name. This is our variable. Okay, so don't put spaces, guys, like these around. Make sure that you trim these out. No spaces, like this. And then if we go to our home page, you refresh the page. Probably this is not going to work. Let me just stop the server, restart, because it's not listening to these actually, like I said. So when you refresh this, there it is. My name is John. All right. Now that we got all of these set up, guys, let's just copy the files. That's what I wanted to do. So let's do that. I'm going to go in here onto my, I think is this file. So this is all the continuation from the previous project that we were doing. We got two HTML files. We got our index and we got our cart. So let's do that. I'm going to select everything by pressing Control A, Control C to copy. Let's do that. Then I'm going to go to my project, which is this one. I'm going to get rid of this home, guys, because I'm not going to use it. You guys can leave it in there if you want to. So I'm going to do in here new file. I'm going to call this one index.hps. I'm going to paste all the code that we had from before. So this is all good. This is the continuation of the project, basically. Now I'm going to create another one, which is going to be the cart.hbs. So let me go back in here. Let me grab my cart, Control A, select this, and let's go in here inside of the cart. Let's do the same thing. I think that we are all good. I think that we are all good in here with this. What else? We need to copy now the CSS, and we also need to copy the JavaScript. So let's do that. So inside of my public, I'm gonna actually organize these a bit better. Maybe we don't need, but that's fine. Let's go in here and create a new file called styles.css. I believe that's the name of the CSS file we had. So let's go in here, let's do styles, there it is. And then we got one, which is going to be this main.js. We just had this file, I believe. Okay, styles and main.js. So I'm going to copy the styles. I'm going to do Control A, copy everything. Okay, let's paste it in here. And now I'm going to create another file, which is going to be the main.js. Copy that as well. So let's do that. I'm going to select everything, copy. Let's go in here. Let's paste it. And there it is. Should be all good. Now, one last thing before we finish this video is we need to go inside of these files. I'm going to delete the home in here, guys. You keep it if you want. I don't need it. It was just like to show you basically. Inside of my index.hps, the first, what is going to be the path to the styles.css? The path to this, remember on our server.js, we specified where is our public folder. So it means that whenever you are trying to reference any files inside of the public folder, because you specify this directory already, in your index.hps or cart, we're going to say, okay, where is my styles.css? You need to put a / first of all. So when you put a / means, okay, we're going to start inside of the public folder that we specified before. So you're going to start inside of the public folder, and inside of the public folder, you have already your main.js and the styles.css. Okay, you need to put this in here before, repeat again, because we specified this before that this is where we're going to serve our static files. Okay, we got this. Now we need to do the same thing for the script. Okay, our main.js, make sure that you put a / down here, and that's it. Okay, so this was for our index.hps. Let's do the same thing on the cart. Let's go in here, put a / in the styles. Down here on the main.js, let's do the same. Okay, so we should be all good now. Let me just stop the server and restart, because like I said, we were doing just some changes to the views. I think there's a way to actually put this to work. I will see if I can add this in the next video or something like that. Okay, we got the cart, we got the index. Let's go in here. We need to go to our server.js. Now we have two routes that we want to create. We have our app.get for our home page, basically. This time, Let me just delete this stuff because I'm not going to pass anything at the moment. When we go to the home page, I want to render the index. Okay, so this is the file index.hps. So you don't need to put the extension like I mentioned before. Now for this other one, which is going to be the cart, when we go to the cart, what we want to do in here, we want to do a res.render. Okay, let me put render. And this time we want to render the cart page. So let's do that. So let's do in here. We want to render the cart page. So I believe that we have everything ready. Let's check if everything is okay. Let's refresh the page. Okay, let me just reset the zoom. Refresh. Okay, because we changed something. Let me just stop the server and restart it again. Maybe I forgot something in here, but we will see. Let me just refresh the page. Ah, now it's working fine. All right, so we got all of these. We got shop, home, about. We don't have our images. I forgot to copy them. Let's just do that. So what I'm gonna do is, I actually don't even need this. I can just go to this project. This is where we were. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna do copy. You guys can do that as well. Let's go to our public and I'm gonna paste it in there. Okay, so I got my images, black hoodie, black t-shirt, gray hoodie, gray t-shirt, and that's it. That's it. So in our index and wherever we have these images, we just need to put a / before, because if you guys remember, / starts inside of the public, go inside of the images, and that's it. Okay, let's just add these quickly. Images, and finally this one. Okay, I think that is all good now. Let's refresh the page, and there it is. There it is. On my styles.css, I think we should be all good with this as well. Okay, let's refresh. As you guys can see, is not working. Ah, okay, because we still didn't update these links up here. We're gonna do that as well. Let's just update these two links as well. So these two links, this is on the index. Okay, so on the index, we had this nav bar in here on the top. So whenever we click them, this time we are not using the front end, guys. We are using the back end. So that's why we need to put in here the route directly. So whenever we click on the home, we want to go to the just / on the browser. And whenever we click the one to go to the cart, we're just going to put / cart. We don't put actually cart.html or whatever. All right. So let's refresh. Let's test this. And there it is. Much better. I'm sure that there is still something in here. Because we just did this in here in the index page. We need to go to the cart and do the same. Okay, we're going to make this a bit more dynamic as well. So let's put in here this. Let's put this in here. Let's put this in here. And then this is going to be cart. Okay, let's just delete this. So now I should be able to go in between one and the other, and this is all working. Perfect. All right, guys. So now we just copy this. We should be able to see this still working. Look, I added the black hoodie. I added the black t-shirt, black hoodie, black t-shirt. I can still increase these. I can still delete them. So all the hard work that we did before, it was not like all gone. It's still working all good. Okay, so that's it for this video. On the next video, what we're going to start doing is probably we're going to start adding some configuration to actually start the payments. Let's see. All right, so I'll see you in the next one.